Oh, oh God. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Gamesty here. This is the normal DPS guide for Norushen. As usual, you can click on the annotations on screen to see any other guide perspectives, or check out the full guide if you want a lot more detail. So let's get started. So the most important mechanic is corruption, and everyone in the raid starts with 75 corruption. Now, corruption will basically cause you as a DPS to deal less damage to the amalgam of corruption, the main boss, during the encounter. The more corruption you have, the less damage you'll deal. However, this does not affect the damage you deal to the adds during the encounter, so you'll always deal full damage to those creatures. For this reason, it's important to prioritize adds at all times, especially if you have not completed your trial and therefore you still have some corruption on you. So, for the most part, you'll see two add types during the fight: manifestations and essences. You want to kill the manifestations first, and then the essences second. However, if an essence has spawned, especially if you're a ranged DPS, try to position yourself between the essence and the boss, the amalgam. By doing so, you will soak up the bolt attacks that the essence is making toward the boss, and this will prevent the boss from gaining a stacking buff that increases its damage output. So you'll prevent a lot of damage to the raid by doing this. So you can see here I'm standing between an essence and the boss. So if I were a DPS, I would just turn and attack the essence that I'm standing between anyway, and once it's dead, then you're free to move around the room as needed. And moving around is important because of that beam attack that you see on the right there. This just does heavy damage every second for anyone that touches it. So it moves pretty slowly. It's easy to avoid, but just watch for that when it's cast and sidestep if needed. You can move out of it if there's an essence near you that you were trying to soak up. It's okay if the essence casts one or two bolts and you're not in front of it, but you just want to get back in position as soon as you can. And otherwise, kill the manifestations or the essences, and if neither of those are active, then you can focus on the boss. Now, because everyone starts with 75 corruption, as a DPS, you'll want to clear your corruption at some point. Usually this will be prioritized based on your raid strategy. But when it's your turn, you'll want to click on one of the purifying light orbs on the sides of the room, which you saw I just did a moment ago, and you'll enter the trial period. During this time, you are by yourself, and it's just like the Proving Grounds that was added in this recent patch. You basically have to accomplish this trial on your own and complete it without any help. Now, I don't have any footage, unfortunately, of the DPS trial, but you can kind of get a sense of what it's like from the healer perspective one. For DPS, you'll face 5 mobs in total, 1 manifestation, and 4 essence spawns. So just like in the normal realm, you'd want to prioritize killing the manifestation first as a DPS, because once it dies, it will spawn outside in the main realm. But more importantly, while you are doing your trial period, it has a cone attack that is kind of annoying to avoid. So killing that quickly means that you don't have to worry about that. The essence spawns, on the other hand, just stay stationary where they are, and they'll do sort of a shadow line of damage, which is pretty basic. So kill the manifestation first in your trial, then kill the essences. If you have dots or your dot class, you can spread those around to get a lot more DPS and kill things off quickly. And in total, you have 60 seconds in which to kill all 5 of the mobs inside your trial realm. If you fail to do so, all the mobs will be ported outside at the same time, which is bad for the raid. So once you get your trial complete and you kill all the mobs, then just run over the corpses and pick up the little orbs that are on the corpses. Each orb you pick up will reduce your corruption by a certain value. And once you've reduced it to 0, you'll be transported out into the normal realm again and rejoin the raid with 0 corruption. Now, the final thing to think about as a DPS is that when the manifestations die in the normal realm here, they'll leave behind a residual corruption orb, which is a black orb on the ground that does massive raid damage. it's important that some player in the raid, it can be you or anybody really, that has not entered their trial period yet, steps on the orb to pick it up and get rid of it. If it's not stepped on by someone that hasn't gone under their trial yet, it will continue to pulse damage on the raid and kill you pretty quickly. So if you are still waiting to do your trial period, you have 75 corruption, you are free to step on one of the orbs when a manifestation dies and pick it up, because you'll go up to 100 corruption, and that's just fine. Once you do your trial, you can get down to 0 after you complete it and be golden from there. So just keep that in mind. If there's a manifestation dying and you haven't done your trial and you aren't already at 100, feel free to pick up that orb that's left behind when it dies. And that's everything, really. So that is the normal DPS guide for Norushen. As always, good luck, and thanks for watching.